So yes, it is the East Germans' turn now. Their what I'm calling their infantry force is activating. They do have some older tanks here, and there's a pretty good chance that they will end up in line of sight to this American tank. And I wonder, yeah, no, that would be it. So we might end up with another solo assistant card. Let's see what we're going to do with them. They're mainly just continuing to try to get down here and get in position to take this bridge here and then move on down to take this bridge, they hope. So this right here is one of their recon units, and so these are, fast, light units that can also spot for artillery, and so it might be a good idea to bring this fella down here. He would face a potential shot from the tank and would have a hard time surviving that if he were engaged. But uh, there's another one coming down the road, so if one is crunched, the other doesn't. So let's just go. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. There's still not line of sight here. This tank can't see. I guess I should verify that, but I'm pretty confident. Can't see. Yeah, it's blocked by the forest. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, 6, and now a potential op fire. So let's draw a card and see what the solo assistant says to do. It is this unit is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 to the crossroad 9, 10. So it is within effective range. That means we look at the yellow priority and fire at closest vehicle. There it is. So this Abrams is pretty straightforward. It's got 4 dice, needing 5s to hit. And there are 2 hits, so now we'll see how these light armor saves work. They get 1 die needing a 6, but they also get as many defensive dice as the terrain or other conditions will allow. In this case, it's only 1 for the woods, but if they were up on a hill, they would get a 2nd. If there was a wreck in there, I think they would get a 3rd, if I'm remembering that right. So they've got 2 dice. The first one, though, needs a 6. The second one needs a 5 because that's the save for the forest. So we'll do the armor value first. Oh, too bad. And so they get chewed up by the Abrams, which makes sense. That little tiny thing there wouldn't be likely to survive very long. Why did it undisrupt it? Yeah, it's both disrupted and reduced. So that was, I think, to be expected. Now, I want to see, because the artillery is a thing. So this forest hex here would have its line of sight blocked by this forest hex. And so if I want to call in artillery on that Abrams, I can't do it from here. I'd have to do it from here. But do the East Germans have smoke? I don't remember. They do have smoke. So a smoke mission would be helpful to allow the infantry to close on this position, and that means that I could potentially put this unit here. 1, 2, 3, no, 4, 5. Yeah, so if I had thought of this through, this unit here could have gone into this woods hex here and been able to call a smoke mission in. And not be in line of sight. But I forgot to mark this ops complete, and this Abrams that fired is ops complete. So at least right here, right now, we're not going to be taking any shots. So that was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and they don't have enough to move into the woods where they would like to be, but they'll just go there. And on a future turn, when we get to the off-board artillery step, they will be able to call in artillery if they're still undisrupted and alive. And this unit here, if it gets undisrupted, remember, these units don't have to worry about being out of command. All right, so the rest of this is just pretty straightforward. We've got, so one thing to pay attention to here, though, is that the BMP-2 has a pretty potent anti-tank armament, and some of the transports are BMP-2s, but some of them are BMP-1s, which also have a good anti-tank armament, but not quite as potent as the BMP-2. So, and then, yeah, all right, enough of that. Let's just move. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You don't have to watch me move all these. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this stack will come down here, and here is here's another the little special anti-tank vehicle, right? So that can come. They'll come right here. They took the bridge there, and we also want our tanks to be able to show up in support in some fashion. So we should probably 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 like that. I think that's their complete range. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then yeah. See, well, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I'm going to cheat a little bit and say that this stack moved before the tanks moved, and now the tanks move there, because stacking is a problem. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I'm going to do the same cheat for this unit. I'm just going to claim that I moved them in a more appropriate order, and they're going to stop there because they have to. And these two units here, they don't need to be super close to the front line. The artillery, 1, 2, 3, 4. I think that only has 5, right? They can stay there. They got a lot of range. The mortar, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You know, that truck had 6. So we're going to go ahead and do the same cheat, say that they moved first. And then this is another little vehicle that its only mission is to shoot down airplanes so they can stay in the back. So there are the East Germans trying to move up and launch an attack on their objective. And we'll see if I'm able to pull that off effectively. Let's see who comes next. Now it's the Americans again, and this is, in fact, that very formation who just issued the op fire. And so that unit is no longer ops complete, and we've got the headquarters right here, and we know that they're in command range. And so we're going to pull a card, see what the orders are for this formation. So again, we've got a unit within yellow priority. So again, fire at the closest vehicle is the order for that Abrams that's up front there. And so they're going to take another shot and I think likely destroy that little recon unit. 2 more hits. So again, 1 die at 6 and 1 die at 5. That's a fail, and that's a fail. So this unit is eliminated, and this unit is ops complete. Now these units here do not have line of sight, and as I said, I'm pretty content having them stay there on the defense, but the solo assistant would they don't have line of sight, so they can't fire. It would tell them to move towards the closest target. Oh, and you know, this icon down here means that I might need to reshuffle the deck. I wonder if I've missed any of them previously. I need to quickly figure out what the conditions for that are. Okay, interesting way that they handle this here. I don't need to measure this. Don't know what's going on there. Okay, so now we have to do a die roll, and the solo assistant has die rolls as part of the card. So now I have to pull another card, I believe, if I can figure out how to stop measuring the table. Yeah, I got no idea what's going on here. Let's do a measurement and see if that makes it stop. All right, that doesn't make it stop. No idea what this issue is. I'm going to go ahead and roll dice in the game to avoid this confusion. It's a 3, and so it is not 6 or higher, so we do not reshuffle the cards, but I will have to figure out what the deal with this ruler is at some point. Anyhow, that's not relevant at the moment. So that formation is completed its actions, and now it is the Americans again, and that's this outfit way down here. So again, I am oh, that is the formation that did not activate previously, right? So this has an impact on things. So they have to deploy their headquarter, not the card, headquarters, and now the second end operations card goes back to the deck. The turn could end at any point now, and this headquarters will deploy right here, and we know that it's in command range because we verified that previously. And they don't see any enemy, and they're not going to move out of their defensive positions, so onward. So now it's the East German armor that had been pretty badly mauled up here earlier. So let's start with a command check. So all of the units are in command. Now we have to see if we can cause any of them to be undisrupted, and having the headquarters with a unit helps. And so I want to see if it might make sense to redeploy this headquarters. It is not, oh wait a minute, is it in the line of sight? Yeah, no, it's not in Eclipse's hex, so it's not in line of sight of any enemy units, so it's got some options. So if it were to move here, it would still have everybody in command. Oh no, these are American units, so it can't. I don't think it can redeploy. I think that where I have them is where they have to stay. Let me see about this right here. Yeah, so they would have to move through enemy line of sight, so no redeploying. All right, so we're going to start with this unit right here. Roll a morale check, see if it passes. That's actually the bottom unit that needs to roll the morale check. Passes. All right, so it is undisrupted, which is good news for them. This unit right here is going to attempt to, and it fails. If it had the headquarters there, it would have passed. Now here's 2 units. Top unit passes and is undisrupted. And the second unit fails. So now we've got to figure out what is the best thing to do with these troops here. We've got the little anti-aircraft vehicle here. That thing probably just needs to try to get out of Dodge. It is not amphibious, so it can't move across this river, and I got a doctor's appointment. All right, doctor says I'm going to live long enough to decide what to do with all these tanks here. So this is currently our objective, and we are tasked with taking and holding that. And I think that we have, to some extent, blown it in terms of doing that. So did I do the morale check for this unit here? Yeah, I did. I guess he failed. All right. I've got fail, pass, fail, pass. Yeah. All right. So this unit here is out of line of sight of everybody and is allowed to move if he remains out of line of. Oh no, he's not. He's in line of sight of these people here. Well, he'd be allowed to move back here. And that seems like a good idea. Get him out of the jaws of these units here. They're ops complete. They cannot fire. So that still leaves a potential for this unit here to charge in and assault, and it's an infantry unit, so in the city that would be bad news. This tank here is completely out of line of sight at this. No, is it? No, it's not, right? You see, oh yeah, all right. So it is in line of sight, but if it moves here, it will. But if it moves here, it will be visible to these units who cannot fire on it. And so I think I'm going to move them 1. This is a safe move, right? They can't be seen. 2, 3, 4, 5, just to try to give some protection to the disrupted tank if it should need it. This one disrupted, one undisrupted unit, I kind of wonder if I should. It's the good order, it's the full strength unit that is disrupted, and it's the weak one that is, or the reduced unit. I was thinking maybe it would be a good idea to assault out to here, but instead of that, let's take a shot. So this is a point-blank shot, and the high explosive firepower is what they're using. They're machine guns and such. So they'll roll 2 dice needing 5s, except it will be 2 dice needing 4s in this case because they are point-blank. So let's see if we can slow these suckers down. Not even a little bit. And so again, I think that the disrupted tank is just going to stay there. It can't do anything else that's any good. It'll try to offer some protection to this unit if the infantry decides to assault. Now these tanks here, if they move, they are going to get most likely shot at. But if they don't move, they're doing nothing good at all. If I want to move them out of command, I could move them up here. They could end up right there. And they would even have the opportunity to take a shot because they're orange firepower. Let's see what the command range here is. Yeah. Then they'd be out of command at the end of this up there, unless I was able to redeploy the headquarters. So let's go ahead. So we're this unit here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3. I was thinking that this is actually a pretty good assault force here. If they could they might be able to wipe this infantry out and be a little bit hidden back here, but that's not going to work. So instead, let's do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and now we'll get to take some shots at least. So the way moving fire works is if it is a Warsaw Pact unit with orange firepower and it expends its full movement points, it loses 2 dice. So that's going to make this shot a little bit less effective than it otherwise would be, but it's better than nothing. So the bottom T-72, or the top T-72 that's stacked with the headquarters, would be reduced to 1 die, needing a 4 because of point blank. They're going to get 2 extras, needing a 3, and so they're going to take a shot at the infantry here. Should I whack the Bradley instead? Yeah, let's get the Bradley instead. So they're going to use their armor piercing, which is going to again bring them down to 1 die, but 2 more for the headquarters is 3, and the 2-hit number is now 3. So that's a pretty good shot. 3 needing 3. And yeah, great. So the Bradley gets 1 die, needing a 6 for a save, and so at least they were able to disrupt this unit, which may not do them much good. Now the bottom tank is only going to fire 1, and we're going to try for that Bradley again. 1 die, needing a needing a 3. All right, and that's another hit, and the Bradley tries to save and fails and is reduced. So things I think still don't look good for the East Germans over here. Now I got to decide what to do with this unit here. It is not, yeah, it is at point blank range, so it could use its machine guns on these infantry here in the woods. Those infantry do, let me see where this command status will leave. Oops. Sorry, that was a wrong click. So if they go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, they get shots down here, and they would still be in command range. And that, it might be good. Looks like I have this marked as if it's being jammed. It's not. So let's do that. So the first thing that happens, though, is as this stack moves, well, you know what? Let's have 1 unit take a shot over here. Those units are marked ops complete. They can't shoot. All right, here we go. The stack is going to come like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5, 6 to the top of the hill. So they, the Bradleys get a shot at them if they go to the top of the hill. So they're going to go into the woods instead. And now the self-propelled mortar can't do anything, but the chaparral can take a shot. So we're going to draw a solo assistant. I still haven't sorted out the solo assistant thing. We're going to pause and sort that out. So it turns out that the keys that I mapped to turn the recorder on and off are the keys that change the solo assistant around. So we sorted that out. Now let's see. So assault if firepower is greater than the target's firepower, which it's certainly not. Otherwise, fire. So so the chaparral is going to fire here. It's got 2 dice, needing 4, and I believe that I'm right about this, that the there is no point blank bonus for blue firepower units. Yeah, another pause here. Okay, finding no reference to that in the rules, the chaparral is going to fire 2 dice, needing 3s, and it scores 1 hit. And the tanks get their 3 needing 5s plus the terrain, so they get 4 needing 5s, and they save that hit, which is fine. The chaparral is now ops complete. All these units down here are also ops complete. Again, that headquarter needs to move. That unit's not moving. And so now they get so the first tank's going to fire. These are thin-skinned armored vehicles, so they're using their armor piercing. So it's they're going to fire at the self-propelled mortar. That is, oh no, I'm sorry. The self-propelled mortar needs to. Oh well, the self-propelled mortar has no potential op fire here, so it doesn't matter. So they're going to take a shot at the mortar. One die needing a 3 to hit because of point-blank range, and they hit. And the self-propelled mortar is going to have a single die needing a 6 to save, and it fails. So the mortar is going to be disrupted. And the second tank is going to fire at. Yeah, they're going to fire at the chaparral because we've got helicopters. I should have taken that shot first. And that's a hit. And the chaparral heroically tries to, but fails to save. Now, this might be a. Yeah, it's a single step, so it's disrupted, and another hit will kill it completely. That might be true for the mortars as well. And now these units here are marked ops complete. Last thing we have to do is sort out what that little anti-aircraft vehicle is going to do, and really it needs to, well, it's not in command range right now. But I think it needs to sit still in case the American helicopters show up, because they are flying right in here, and that won't be good. So that's going to be the end of that formation, and we will draw another formation card. And it is the Americans, and again, those are the Americans defending the last objective on the map. They have nothing to do. And designated formation for the East Germans. Now that is a fortunate chain of events. I have to, if he moves here, now they're still not in command up there. So do we want to do something with this armored unit outfit here? If we make our in command roll for either of these tanks, they could take care of these enemy units and make the Americans decide if they want to come back here to try to do something about them. Or we could try to get our infantry moving a little bit faster, since we're kind of behind. But you know, I think with the Soviets coming in here with their T-80s with good tanks, I think it makes sense to activate the armor formation and just do the best we can to try to inflict damage on these American units until incorrectly, I was complete, to inflict damage until the Soviets can show up in relief. I think that that's a sensible plan. So we're going to remove all the ops complete markers. We're going to do a command check. So the anti-aircraft unit and the two tanks are all out of command. We'll do the tanks first. They pass and they are in command. So that's very good news for this unit. And now the anti-aircraft unit also is in command. So yeah, that's good news for the Americans. And now we have to see if we want to redeploy this headquarter. And I believe that it is always legitimate to redeploy to an adjacent hex. So they're going to redeploy here because they will be able to offer some assistance for this unit's attempt to rally. And so that unit's going to go ahead and attempt to rally right now. And it passes even without the headquarters, so that's good. And now down here in the trees we have a single disrupted reduced tank. Let's see if we can keep. Nope, that unit fails. So, but those rolls were all pretty good from the East German perspective. So we've got American troops here with pretty significant anti-tank assets in these woods here, and we've got this Bradley up here that we've been trying to work our way through. How did that unit get undisrupted? Wasn't it disrupted? Well, and we've also got the American infantry here. So I want to start with these units here. Now, the Warsaw Pact does a thing called volley fire, where if I wanted to, I could have both of these tanks fire a single attack together, and I would use one of their firepowers and add +1 die to the thing. But in this case, against these targets, that is not necessary. So each tank will fire separately, and the first tank will go ahead and fire at the mortar. And this time, it's a very good shot. It's 3 dice, needing 3s. And that's 2 hits, and so the mortar gets a single save, and so is almost certainly going to be eliminated here. Yeah, it is eliminated, and what we're going to see is that the mortar is a... Oh, no, the mortar is a 2-step unit, so it remains involved. And sorry, got a little distracted there. Went over to the wrong screen. The second tank is going to now take its shot, and the question is, should we try to get rid of that mortar? I think we want to try to get rid of the chaparral, so it's going to take its shots. And again, a single hit only, so the rolling is a little bit less. Let's see how it does with its save. It does not save, and so that indeed eliminates the chaparral. And so these units are now ops complete. And I've got to go check on something. I'm pausing. Done checking on the thing. And so now we've got this reduced undisrupted unit here. They're just going to take a shot at the infantry. That's their best. Well, maybe they should. No, they're going to take a shot at the Bradley here. So they're going to roll. They've got 2 dice, and they need 4s to hit, but it's point blank, so they need 3s to hit. That's a pretty good shot. And they whiff. All right, so the East Germans had been rolling hot, and now they are not. And I made a little rhyme there. What a good time. So over here, the top tank's going to take a shot at the... What's the reduced Bradley? Yeah, they're going to take a shot at that Bradley over there. So it's 3 dice needing 3s. Wow. Bradley's trying to save. Fails, so it is disrupted. So the second tank is going to... I'd really like to disrupt these infantrymen here too as well. But, yeah, they're going to shoot at the infantry. So close range with the machine guns, that's 3 dice needing 4s. Oof. Now, the way infantry saves work is they are soft units, so they only get saves based on the terrain that they're in. And they're in cultivated terrain, and so we're going to look at the terrain effects chart, even though I'm pretty sure I know that they get a defense bonus of 1d6. So they are rolling, and terrain saves are always a 5, so they're going to roll 1 die needing a 5 to save that hit, and they fail, so they are disrupted. So I would say that was pretty good results so far for this East German unit. They may have really helped themselves get out of a bind. Now this stack here, their only real target at this point is this stack of infantry in the woods, and so they will take that shot. They're going to start by firing at the infantry that is manning the toe and that has the headquarters stacked with it. So that has pluses and minuses. That's a more powerful weapon, but it also, that infantry unit gets the headquarter bonus for saves. So we've got 3 dice needing 5s, which are now needing 4 because of point blank, and they get 2 extras. So now they have 5. This top tank has 5 dice needing 4s, and that's 2 hits. So the save for this infantry is a single die needing a 4 because the headquarter is present, and it saves. And so the bottom tank is going to take a shot at the other infantry unit that does not have headquarter assistance, and this tank is shooting 3 dice needing 4s. And there's 2 hits, and so they will at least disrupt them, and in fact that is all they do, is disrupt them. Okay, and so these tanks are now ops complete. The other tank has to also be marked ops complete. Yes, okay. And this anti-aircraft unit again is going to hold tight right there. Are they back into command range on the next turn? They are. So if they need to move later, they can. But they're available to try to engage aircraft if necessary. Let's see what formation activates next. And it is the East German air support. So the fortunes of war are very much favoring the East Germans at this moment in time. So what's the juiciest target for them? I'm going to say it is this. I'm going to say it's this stack of Bradleys right here. Now we go down here, and again, the only American unit that could potentially engage them is ops complete. So, and there are no other American units that would be able to engage the air support. So we don't need to worry about whether it's a surprise attack or not, because there will be no anti-aircraft fire. So comes right in, and it rolls its, oh no, that undisrupted Bradley is allowed to engage with its chain gun. There's some special thing about that. I'll find out and be right back. So the Bradleys get to take a shot with their orange firepower. They their to-hit number goes from a 5 to it goes up 2, but the 6 is the highest that one of those numbers can go. And did they lose dice? Nope. It gets its regular number of dice. So the Bradley can attempt to defend itself, and if there is another unit that has the ability, it could add to it, but the Americans don't have any other unit that can participate. So it's 3 dice needing 6. No hits. So now the close air support makes its run, 3 dice needing 4. 3 hits. That's good news for them. Now each Bradley rolls a single die to try to save. The undisrupted Bradley will make the first attempt. It fails, and the other Bradley also fails. So all 3 hits are applied. I'm going to roll the do you have ordnance remaining. So the East German air support card is theoretically removed from the game, but as I believe I told you at the beginning, I reserve the right to cheat for the side that I think is losing. I think the East Germans are losing. I also really like when the air support comes in, so I'm keeping that in the game because that's how I like to roll. And now we got to distribute 3 hits. So the first hit goes to the unhit unit, which is the good order Bradley. And then there are 2 more hits, and so they have to be evenly distributed, right? So each unit is now also going to be reduced. So that's a significant blow to American firepower, and that's a significantly good sequence of events from the East German perspective. Maybe I should stop thinking that they're losing. All right, the next formation is the end of the turn. All right, you don't need to sit around while I end this turn. We're 1 turn away from the Americans getting a heavy hitter. The A-10 is going to start showing up on the battlefield, and that is going to be a problem for the Warsaw Pact. So until next time,